Is storytelling nini, and how is it important even for us? Because it's a buzzword.
Africa is different from Europe and different from America. We need to start owning the narrative.
Now let's come now to your African narratives.
And
even storytelling, this whole thing. Now that you're doing social media management for a number of clients, is storytelling nini, and how is it important even for us? Because it's a buzzword. It's been around for some years now. Storytelling. Everybody's saying storytelling. So of course we boast in Africa. We are storytellers by the fireplace traditionally and all that. So the African narrative, storytelling, when you're doing your social media stories, and that also weaves into when you're saying about what clients are looking for.
Yeah.
Because so tell us about.
I'm thinking Africa is a big continent, and Africa. I actually have an hashtag called African Stories that I even want you to join. If anything, anytime you are doing an African story, anywhere in the continent, use an hashtag of African Stories. The reason why I'm asking young people or my fellow professionals to join that hashtag is because we need to start owning the narrative. Africa is different from Europe and different from America. I cannot start acting and talking or share my stories the way Europeans or Americans will do theirs.
Correct.
So I need to start owning that. For example, if I'm coming from Eastlands, so then Madare is a slum, just like there's a slum in Brazil. You understand? Two same things, but how do I channel out Madare stories? How do I channel out Kibera stories? Because those are stories that are shaping...
And current stories.
And current stories. Current stories, actually. There's less stories about Karen, based on what Karen has achieved, or just people in Karen. So if we package ourselves in a way that we start understanding that our stories are different from any other stories. And one thing with the storytelling that I've learned over the years is that we cannot generalize stories. I was talking with, I'm sorry I keep doing this, but I was talking with Jafo the other day, and I was telling Jafo my story is not everyone's stories.
Yes.
I know where I come from, and I know what I need to do when things hit the ground. So my story is not, your story is not, it's my story.
There's that advert for Royco where it said every meal is a story.
Yeah, no, that's...
everybody has a story.
Yeah, everybody has a story, and your story, you need to differentiate the fact, and this is where the detail is.
Yeah.
You need to understand that, Steve, when you hit rock bottom, it's not everyone hits rock bottom, it's you.
Yes.
And then what do you want to share about that?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And before just I shift, because this can be a very long conversation.
Yes.
I want us to talk about how do we project our stories online. Yeah. We have Karakana online now, and thank you even for this opportunity. We have Photo Magic online, we have Stephen Ouma photography online.
You have your Photography Africa chats?
Yeah, we also have Africa Photo Chat,
Yes.
But then how often do we have content online from Africa?
By us?
By us. Yeah, you go to YouTube, I've skipped so many adverts on how to join CG what and what. There's so many ads online about other world stories on what to do. There's less African stories online. Go and check that. There's less African stories online. And not because we are not empowered with the resources. We have already, the technology has enabled us to have the resources to share African stories now. And lastly to close on this, team. I'm sorry this has taken a bit longer. I'm thinking it's also high time we start having this kind of conversation, that we talk about what affects us as Africans, and not just on the negative side of poverty, diseases, and humanitarian leadership. We need to talk about what affects us as content creators. The other day I saw Armstrong talking about the pay and how some people are paid and how we want to get paid as local. You know, we need
different
to
rate
want
cards
that.
for
Yeah, different rate cards from all over the
the
world.
ones from outside the country.
The ones from outside the country and the ones locally. So we need to start having this conversation, because once we start having this conversation, organizations and clients engaging us will understand that just like any other person in Europe, we can actually do the same work, you know. And how do we tell them this in a way that does not show us, does not show that we are discriminated in this,
Correct.
you know. How do we tell them that, hey, we are professionals, we have gone to school to learn this, we can do this work, we have all the capacity, in a way that does not make them feel that we're subjecting them to probably higher quotations, or, you know, it's a long story, Steve,
Yes,
you can't finish
yes,
now.
yes,
And I
yes.
want us to have this conversation in our next engagement, because I really have insights that I think can start shaping storytelling in Africa.
That is true. Now, so what does the future look like for you in terms of your content creation profession? What are you looking forward to? You don't have to spill your secrets, business secrets, but tell us what are your plans? What are you preparing yourself for? Are you planning to learn a new skill? There's something I think you had mentioned about your business name and all that. So what's ahead?
Yeah, for me, what's ahead for me now, I'm changing from Stephen Ouma photography to Stephen Ouma productions, because then I'm over photography.
Okay.
I can't do photography. I'm producing content now. Understand?
Yes.
And if God allows me in the future, probably I'll also change just from production to probably something with media, because we are doing media related stuff.
Yes.
And you can understand the shift that we have now from traditional media to online media.
Yes, digital.
And digital media, and I think that's where the scope is. So I want to be in that gap. I want to bridge that gap where you want to look at me and you want to say, this guy is doing media related stuff. This guy is good in both X and X. You know, he's good in photography, he's good in videography. He can help you script, he can help you do a social media strategy. I want to be in that space. And the new skill I'm learning is actually, I'm learning to fly a drone now.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know
Very
to fly.
important.
I'm learning to fly a drone now. I also want to get into space of script writing. I'm just putting myself out there for new available opportunity for me.
Yes.
Because for me to be big, and there's so many people who look up to me, Steve. So I cannot just sit there and allow myself to be the same thing for the next 10 years of my life.
Okay.
Yeah. I also think what I want to engage in more is it's more of human interest stories for organization.
Yes.
I want to help organizations to
Tell their story.
tell their stories and also own up for the brand visibility, because they have so many projects they're doing great work on ground, but if those stories
Nobody knows.
are not projected online,
Yes.
it's no one cares. Steve, you understand that no one cares about you until you
Tell
do
them.
something.
Yes.
You know, just telling someone people will ignore you. People don't care about you until you do something that can impact them. That's why you get those calls. Hey, I saw you going to X and X. So no, ulifanya hii kazi. Because that has impacted them in a way that they won't tell you. So people don't care about you until you do something that impacts them.
Great. What would you tell yourself, somebody who was where you were 7 years ago, upcoming younger guys who are getting into photo, video, content, digital? What advice would you tell them? What advice would you tell yourself when you were younger and you were starting off?
I was telling myself, when I was starting off, I'll tell myself it was worth, I took that journey, it was worth it still. And if I was not doing content creation today, I don't think I'll be even alive. Poverty would have chapared me a good one, uko chini. Yeah, I mean,
that's serious.
yeah, I mean, poverty would have chapered me a good one.
Yes.
And you see, the goal in the end is just to fight poverty.
Yes.
You know, the goal of us as content creator is now to create a platform
For impact.
for impact. I mean, I wouldn't be doing content. Personally, I've made a target. After 10 years of my life, the next 10 years, I'll not be sitting and doing content creation. I'll want to shift to something else.
Okay.
You know, because I need to create space for the incoming generation.
And those incoming are the ones I want you to. What would you advise them so that they avoid the pitfalls you went through or the challenges you may have?
I mean, yesterday I was listening to a particular motivational speakers. I don't listen to motivational speakers, but sometimes I take one or two things they are saying because I don't think their stories are mine, so I can't buy their stories.
Okay.
But one thing that motivational speaker say that some of us have gone through mistakes, but that where they are, they wouldn't allow you to go through them. You understand?
Many of us.
Yeah, many of us still, you know your journey from where you started. And if a young person will come to your hands now and want you to give them advice, the only best advice you could give them is for them to not go through what you went through. You'll actually advise them to ask to take a better route. Why? Because it takes lessen the pain, keeps the focus, keeps the consistency, and makes you focus.
And they will be at a better place.
At way better
if
place.
If it's me now at 40, 41,
yeah,
I would want those people to be at a better place, than where I am, and less struggles, because I don't think we came to this planet to struggle. I don't think it is.
You've seen that.
I don't think the universe planned that you stay in poverty.
You've seen that mean that I'm here to enjoy life. I'm not here to struggle. So here's the thing. Here's what I'll tell young people who are actually joining, and even those who are actually in profession. Because in the end, in the next 10 or 20 years of our life, you want to have an investment. You want to have a home. You want to have a family, and all this will be taken care of by your work. So photography, content creation is a business. Is an investment. See, that's why we are spending thousands of shillings or millions of shillings shaving equipment. But we don't want to spend all this so that the next 20 years, we cannot still validate or present, have something tangible. It's a business that has a future outcome. So while you're getting into this, know that this is going to dictate what your family is going to look at you, your friends are going to look at you, your social standing is going to dictate. And over and above that, have friends who have been doing this for long. They are your mentors. Have a mentor. Both, if you're a lady, if you're a young man watching this, I think the key thing here is just have a mentor.
Yes.
Have a mentor. Have a mentor.
In fact, you should have a group of people who are resourceful, who understand the space you are in, and you work with them. They guide you and they help you.
Yeah, a big shout out to Rafael Moria. It's just a great mentor. Big
that
shout
is
out.
your mentor?
Yeah, I every time I'm having a serious photography engagement, I'll go and ask him, how do I go about this?
What should I do?
Yeah, big shout out to people who have been there with me. I can't mention everyone, but I've been having mentors, Kina Jafo and the rest, Kina Kateli. I just go to them, they're just phone call away, because they're not even interested in how much I'll make. They even advised me on how to quote, They even advised me on how best to engage them.
Yes.
If a client refuses to pay me, I won't go and look at them online and say, oh, X and X has failed to pay me. I can't do that, because I have people who I call and ask them, how do I go about
then
this?
Then they tell you, chill, kiasi.
Yeah, even if they don't tell me to chill, what they'll tell me is what I'll do.
What you do.
Because they know
how to handle
they
this.
see the next 5 months of my life when I see the next 2 days of my life here.
Yeah, I get
I get so that's what I'll say, Steve.
Okay. As we wrap up, 2 more things. Number one, unatoanga stress aje wewe, by the way? What do you do?
So 2 things. One can be naughty. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it. Because I'm a creative. I'm an open mind.
Okay.
So one way I go, I like traveling, Steve.
Yes.
I'm actually venturing into travel photography. Sana saizi. Because when I travel, I just feel free, and people who I meet don't know what I'm going through, so they can't judge me, and I can get stories from them. So that's one way I release my stress.
Okay.
I love traveling so much, so that's one way. Another way I can't mention.
You don't watch Netflix and you don't go. You don't have another non-photography activity that you do, you know.
I like listening to poetry.
Okay.
I think I'm a poet in a way.
Okay.
So I listen to poetry a lot.
You know, we are being pushed to be mentally sound and healthy. Mental health has come up a lot, and many of us, we are workaholics in our creative space.
Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking that is because we need to start thinking about, are we only doing our work all the time, or do you get away from your camera and so that's why.
Okay. Then I'll answer you.
No, but kama haiko.
Hata nikwambia iko yezi kwa sababu I'm a human being. So I attend social events. I don't walk a lot with my camera.
Okay.
I don't walk a lot with my camera. I attend social events in most cases, and I just go there, have fun, have a drink, go home, and over and beyond that, I think I love having conversation with friends. I can just come to you, sit down with you. Tuongee tu, I'll buy the coffee, I'll buy the drink. And I think that, in a way, helps me release my stress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question for this interview. So, I know you travel in the course of your work to Karakana, but we have what we call favorite destinations. Places where you can go again, or if I told you, twende, you'd be like, wacha nichukue camera, twende. Or even if without a camera, what are some of your favorite, 2-3 favorite destinations, and why?
I think I'll go with Lamu. Lamu is magical.
Hata kama wanapigana saa hii, eh?
No, whatever a conflict. You know, for us content creators, our responsibility is to amplify something in a better way. That's what God gave us. So Lamu is magical. Lamu is magical. Lamu has crazy sunsets. Lamu has crazy stories. And I think I want to go to Lamu in February. This month it may be, but I want to do Lamu in February.
You said you've been in Lamu before?
I've gone to Lamu like 5 times.
5 times.
I want to go there.
Okay.
And
I've not been there many times, but the thing that remains etched is sunset. Both
sunsets
yes.
are magical. And lastly, Steve, I also think I want to do Diani, but Diani, I don't think there is much to offer me, apart from the beaches.
Yeah. Or maybe the side that has...
no, I just
kuna Kisite, Mpunguti, you know, those places of Marine.
I've gone there, nimechoka na hizo places. What I want... I think Lamu should offer
one more destination. Perhaps.
One more destination.
Out away from the ocean.
It's Kisumu.
Yes, I really love Kisumu too.
No, Kisumu has never and will never disappoint.
Kisumu, you're near your Ushago, or?
No, it's not. It's near my Ushago. It's like 2 hours from my Ushags, but there's just
not near where.
2 hours. It's a drive.
Where's your Ushago?
It's like going to Basha. My Ushago. Actually, it's 1.5 hours. Yeah, but it's like just like going to Basha.
What's magical in Kisumu? Why do you like
Hill
Kisumu?
Camp. Donga Hill Camp is magical.
Okay.
You sit there, you don't want to go away. I'll take you there by the way.
Okay.
We have
tutaweka. Even me traveling is this year it's on the list. So last thing now that even you had to grab a cup of coffee. Kumaanisha hii mambo ni mzito sana. There is this thing that is weighing heavily in your heart about how we are treated by some of our clients. And I think you want to say something about it. What do you want to say about it? Tell us.
I think content creators should learn to be professionals.
Okay.
Not just with the equipment. If you're having high-end cameras, that's not the profession. It's part of the profession. But with ethics and how you also handle yourself, or also how you want clients to handle you. I'm not giving a shout out to Safaricom, but I've worked with them. Those guys have perfected the art of owning the African story. You know, if they are sending you for an assignment outside the country or inside the country, they'll make sure that you don't struggle. Book your flight, get your accommodation, meals, and they have details of what they want. So you're not going for an assignment because you're struggling. You know, you're going on assignment because you're a professional and you're good at it.
And they make sure that the level of comfort is good enough for you to do what you're supposed to do.
Let me just give them a shout out. First of all, I know this shout out to Zaida and the team, Team Safaricom actually, because the thing is, they have enabled me to learn that as a professional, you need to be handled in a particular way, in a professional way. So if you're going to have an event, then are you going to use a matatu? You know, some professionals in our industries are still not negotiating for their capacity,
good terms,
for their capacity. You know, it's capacity. You know, and what I've learned is, as a professional, you need to be in a situation whereby if the job is in Marsabit, or if the job is in Kisumu, or the job is in Turkana, I mean, the client should be in a position to make sure that you're boarding a flight to Turkana. You're not doing a lot, unless the assignment scope,
12 hours, yes.
Unless the assignment scope is within the road,
yes.
Then I don't see why you should do.
I had such an assignment. In fact, we were with Max, the guy behind the cameras here, and he was lucky. They went with a Land Cruiser. Then they left me with a truck, you know, and and it's the way you've said. I think, by and large, personally, all my clients have given me good treatment. Well, if it's flights needed, if it's comfort, meals. But now this trip, we were delivering medical supplies in very remote hospitals. You know, we went from Lamu to Malindi to Garissa, no, to Bura, kunaitwaje Mpeketoni, Lamu, really remote places. So mambo ya ndege wachana nayo. Then the truck had to move from this dispensary to the next dispensary to the next. So I was with the truck. At the cabin. You know, it was a very hard life.
Still, listen.
But it was also interesting.
Personally, yes. I don't mind being in the truck.
Yes.
If that's the scope of work. The scope of work demands that I visit. I mean, I've been to Merti. You know, Merti is 5 hours from Isiolo.
Okay.
The road is rough.
Yes.
We were going to do some work there, and that's not exception. What I'm just saying is, if your scope of work does not involve you,
hardship life,
please don't board it.
Yes.
And you don't need to take that assignment. If you know you go that assignment, you're making X amount, then you come back, and whatever you made, you're going to use
not
it
worth
the
the time and the struggle.
Yes. No, you're going to actually spend that money on hospital. So that's something I wanted to say.
Okay.
That I think young upcoming professionals should also have in mind. Even us who are practicing.
Yeah, even some of us who are practicing are still struggling. We are struggling with some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I really wanted to push on, because in the end, you're also a human being. Yes. You have hospital bills to pay. Yes. You have family to take care of, or even if you don't have a family, you have friends.
Na haukuja hii dunia kustruggle. So
like
kuja soko ndio upate good life.
Like na enjoyment.
So yes, I think tufikishe hapo. Thank you very much, Steve-O. And I think we said we will be back. I would want us to perhaps push that idea for your photography charts for the continental perspectives.
Yeah.
And I think also there's also another discussion that you said you want us to have mental health and other issues that perhaps could need a forum, not just a recording session like this one, where we can have a forum and talk about more things that affect us, whether we who are at the professional level, those who are pro level, semi-pro level, those who are beginners, so that we can guide them. So thank you very much for watching this session, and I would want to encourage you to engage with us online. Karakana Online is our handle across all platforms and the website. Give us your comments, give us suggestions. Perhaps there are people you want us to host on the show. Karakana Online is here to bring together content creators. So if you're in videography, if you're a vlogger, if you're in podcasting, if you're a graphic designer, if you're a digital marketer, social media marketing, photography, you're very welcome. Engage with us, send us an email, give us a call, check out our social media handles, and we'll be glad to hear what you have to say. And until the next show, kwaheri sana.
We need to do one travel with this team.
Okay.
That has to be either Kisumu or Lamu.
We actually plan to bring back you remember the times we used to do the Tujazevan trips.
Let's do
we
that.
We did Nanyuki with Tony Wild, with Kina Rahim, we did Savo, we did Masai Mara.
Yeah.
So we want to bring back.
Let's do that.
Yes.
But this time we're not going to Jazza, right? We'll go to Jazza flights.